Sunday, we are loaded up, ready for an adventure. This time we are doing a four-wheeled adventure. So kind of the question here is, will a Honda HRV adventure? Of course it will. Why wouldn't it? That's kind of a dumb question, but you got to hook people somehow. Anyway, we're going to be hitting the road here pretty soon, heading on up towards Page to explore southern Utah. Getting ready to go. It's Monday morning and I'm not at work. Anyway, so yesterday up from Tucson to Page, Tucson to Flag, kind of know the route, done it before, pretty trees and stuff. Flagstaff up to Page, different routes going through. Antelope Valley was pretty cool, got some really great, just some storm stuff happening up through there. And stopped and took pictures and oohed and awed, and then went on Horseshoe Bend, stopped and went and checked that out. The lovely wife's hat took a wonderfully that hat took a fantastic free flight, like flipped off her head, rolled over the edge of the cliff, and then caught a thermal and poof, back up over and landed about 40-50 feet away from us. It was quite spectacular. So and then we kind of just got into Page and had some dinner, and then we went and looked at Lake Powell in the evening, which was quite cool, and some nice sunset action of the storm clouds. And so we are in the car here, obviously, ready to head out for day 2. it's Tuesday and bug in my face. So yesterday's drive, left page, more just, it's a fascinating, kind of desolate, yet incredibly beautiful landscape. Stopped by Monument Valley, and that was kind of a bit of a letdown. $8 a person to go in there and look at stuff. And I mean, there was a cool museum for the Navajo Code Talkers, so that was interesting. And then like, okay, well, we'll move on. And then we went to Garden of the Gods? Valley of the Gods. It's a good thing somebody remembers things. Much better. It's a slight off-roady experience, but I mean, the little Honda did just fine going through all the stuff up and down the hills. But that was hardly anybody in there. Just much nicer experience. And then just kind of traveled on round through and cruised through Moab. And we spent the night here. See some of the rocks behind me and all that fun stuff. Cool arch over there, right there. Here, Arches National Park. This is Devil's Playground, campground, I think. Yeah, the lovely wife. Devil's Garden. See, again, it's a good thing somebody remembers these things. Had a fun little ranger talk about mule deer last night. That was kind of cool. And then so we come back to our campground from the talk about mule deer, and there go like 5 or 6 mule deer right past the campground. So a little bit of a wildlife experience here. And so we're just going to have a kind of a chill day. Probably going to just kind of spend the rest of the day. That was the other thing, getting into this campground. It's like you go through the gate and it's going, there's a campground back here somewhere. I know. The internet said so. And you just keep going and going. And it'll be around. Oh, no, it's not around this corner. And you go some more. And yeah, so it's a bit of a drive back in here to get to the place. But definitely worth it once you get here. So, chill day. It's the next day. So we spent the night here in Moab after hanging out most of the day yesterday there in Arches National Park, which highly recommend. Even, but yeah, it was a pretty cool place to be. Got a little bit of rain on the tent while we were sleeping the night before. Got ourselves up and got ready to go and had a leisurely breakfast and packed up and got ready to be out just as it kind of started to rain a little bit again, just enough to kind of make the ground wet. Kind of wandered through because the campground there in Arches is at the very end of the road, so it was actually a pretty good setup. Just kind of wander your way out of the park for the day, which gotta love it when an accident is perfect, because as we were getting closer and closer to the entrance, it was getting more and more crowded. So it seems to be the deal for Arches is camp there, so that way you're there first thing in the morning and beat the crowds. That worked out very well, because towards the end there it was getting a little bit just kind of stupid, crazy people everywhere. You couldn't really see anything or take pictures of anything just because people were in the way. But very, very lovely experience coming out of there. It was nice to have kind of a quiet day. Rolled into Moab, I don't know, about 1 o'clock or so. Had some lunch. Found the Moab Museum, which was kind of an interesting sort of history of uranium, and it was kind of fascinating. There was a board of just all these quotes of all the people that had worked in the uranium mines, and it was like all the white people were like, oh, you know, I had a job and I was making money. And then you could see all the Native American workers were like, yeah, this place is dangerous as hell. This is a dumb place. It was kind of like, so it's cultural things going on there. So here at the Moab Adventure Hotel, the very nice people basically said, okay, great, yeah, because some knucklehead made a reservation for next week, and they went ahead and they had space, they changed it, got us in here, so we got to spend the night here. And now we're getting ready to head out and have some breakfast and be on to Bryce. For the record, we just passed 9,600 feet elevation for this pass, and we're on our way back down. So we is up there. So far we've seen deer and a bunch of cows on the road. We are we are in our tent. We have had dinner, and it is raining.
Chicken with risotto, very good. Out of the rain.
Good morning from Bryce Canyon. So we have a lovely sunrise happening back there. Make my head disappear. Whoa! That was kind of cool. Anyway, so yesterday we left Moab and went straight north and then hit the freeway for a tiny little bit and then dropped back down through those territories. And my brain's not working yet, so I can't remember the names of all the various little national monuments and valleys and things. I'll put them up probably somewhere. But definitely recommended approaching Bryce from that direction. The just long valleys and amazing rock formations, and you go between desolate, looks like a moon, to forested area, back to a moon. Just some really starkly beautiful stuff to see running through there. And then just suddenly it's like, oh, hey, there's Bryce Canyon City. So that was a pretty cool day of driving. Got to camp, got things set up, and made dinner just in time to dive into the tent for the rain to start. And so I had dinner in the tent. It was kind of nice, and then rain stopped and we had some time to wander around a little bit more. And then the clouds cleared out, so I actually played night photography a little bit, and then went to bed, and it was cold. So yeah, I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it is still on the cold side. But we're gonna get I did a little bit of photography, and we're gonna play around here in Bryce, and then yeah, that's the day. Happy rainy morning. So we have been fed. We just fed the car. Just fed the car. It is very rainy out here. We're getting ready to head out of leave Bryce Canyon City, which I think is an ambitious name. But yesterday was a really nice slow day. Kind of did the same as we did with Arches, where we just kind of went to the end of the road and worked our way out and looked at the really cool stuff, and found a sandwich truck in the middle of the park and had lunch. Got to the hotel where we were going to stay at, and we were too early, so we had 2 hours to kill. So we went down the road, found a coffee shop, and I had some tea and read a little bit, took a little nap, and then got back to the hotel, and that was pretty much the day yesterday. So today we're on our way to Flagstaff. Woohoo! Happy late morning. Got started on the day and realized I didn't do a vlog entry this morning. So here we are, a little bit late, but better than not at all, I guess. So yesterday, left Bryce to rain and clouds. It was made for an interesting kind of different drive out of Bryce, down through southern Utah. Just kind of cruised through, found a nice little local coffee shop in a small town near the Arizona-Utah border. Apparently a lot of movies were filmed there, because as we were walking through, there was all sorts of placards about all the various movie stars that had been there. What was the one I remember was Don Knotts. I guess their Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again was filmed in that area. So okay, crossed into Arizona, went down through the Vermilion Cliffs, which was kind of, it's like, it's a spot on the map. Okay, well, we'll see what, and just kind of blew me away with the spectacular colors and size and the weather, because just the tops were just kind of in these wispy clouds. It was really pretty spectacular. Outside Flagstaff, stopped at the Wapatiki. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but it doesn't matter because white men didn't name it properly anyway. We found out going through there and looked at that monument and read some of the stuff, and then we got into Flagstaff and had a lovely night's sleep, and we are actually outside Flagstaff now at the Barefoot Trail, a little bit west of Flagstaff off of I-40. Highly recommend it. We just finished. It's about a mile, little hike, and you go through, and you take your shoes off, and they've got mud pits and different things and labyrinths, and it's really very cool experience. So anyway, that's what's up. We're going to be hitting back on the road here pretty soon. Good morning. It is the last day, and we are packing up and getting ready to head on back to Tucson from our undisclosed resort location up here in northern Arizona, where we spent the last couple of days just kind of sitting and chilling out and relaxing and doing a whole lot of nothing. It was quite lovely. The day we left Flag, we went, and I mentioned it, did the Barefoot Trail, which was quite an experience and definitely something I'm looking forward to going back to and doing again. About a mile long, took about an hour, just wandering around and squishing your feet through some mud and doing other fun things. So it was pretty cool. From there we went to Walnut Canyon. So it was basically a day of hiking. Walnut Canyon, there's some cliff dwellings in there, and it's distance-wise a short walk. Altitude-wise, it's a climb. And so, but it was fascinating, because you drop down into this kind of, they call it an island because it's almost an oxbow lake, and you get down in there, and it's just, I don't know how many people lived in this canyon. It must have been, it was just, yeah. But that was pretty cool. And then, like the head said, we zoomed on out of Flagstaff, hung out here up in northern Arizona for a couple days and getting ready to head home. And we're back home. So we spent a couple of days at an undisclosed location up in northeastern Arizona, and then just kind of spent some time relaxing, looking at trees and stuff. And then we headed on back down to here home in Tucson, and we tripped into New Mexico for a little bit, ran through there a little ways, came back into Arizona, the Safford, Morenci area, and then back into Tucson. Some nice scenery there, getting through New Mexico and stuff. Once you get down into I-10, you're kind of back out there on flat desert, but I've done it a bajillion times, so okay, I guess if it's new to somebody it might be cool, but to me it's like, oh yeah, right. Anyway, we started this whole thing off with a Honda HRV adventure, and I acknowledged at the beginning that yeah, it's kind of a clickbait question, but I do kind of like the idea of looking at, hey, you know, you don't need the biggest, bestest, baddest off-road vehicle to go and travel around and do adventure and do a little bit of camping. We did some dirt roads. Some of it took a little bit of careful driving, but I mean, it's basically a two-wheel drive Honda HRV, kind of a big Honda Fit, basically. With the automatic transmission, and it did perfectly fine. It did everything we needed it to do. It carried gear and two people and camping supplies, did some fire roads, did some freeway, did some back roads, everything you needed it to do, all while putting in high 30s into the low 40s in mileage. So, you know, try that with your Toyota 4Runner. So, yes, a Honda HRV will adventure. I don't want to be that person who's, well, all it takes is, you know, the courage to go and do it. That's just as dumb. But you don't need the most amazing new thing. You just got to figure out a way to make it happen. Which leads to, adventure is what you make of it. Go find yours.